Okay. So in frequency modulation, you people are having four topics. Huh? Four topics. First, we'll look at overview. Okay, four topics. First one, mathematical expression. What is frequency modulation and all? Okay, mathematical expression. Second one, pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. This is an important question under frequency modulation. 5 mark question. Okay, pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. Then the third topic is AM modulator. So in then the fourth topic is AM demodulator. So in AM modulator you are having two topics, and in AM demodulator you are having two topics. Two topics. Okay. So totally in your frequency modulation you are having 6 questions. Okay. We are going to study. Today we are going to see mathematical expression and pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. Okay. So here in FM, first of all we need to know what is FM. So as we studied in amplitude modulation, who is changing and who is not changing. Amplitude of the carrier is changing in accordance with the message signal, right? Okay, here frequency frequency of a carrier, frequency of a carrier is changing in accordance with the message signal. Okay, so this is the definition. So here who is changing, the main important thing is frequency. Whose frequency? Carrier's frequency. So carrier's frequency is changing according to the message signal, where amplitude, phase are constant. Rest all constant. Only the frequency change. Frequency will be changing here. Okay, so if we see the diagram here, how the diagram will be, if I'm having amplitude like this, if I'm having a signal, consider this is my message signal. This is my message signal. Okay, and this is the positive side and negative side. So if I'm I'll directly draw the diagram. FM signal. Okay, frequency modulated wave. Okay, so you remember when there is amplitude getting increased, so क्या होगा? Frequency will also getting increase. Okay, when the amplitude increases, frequency increases. When the amplitude reduces, that is lower, then our carrier's frequency will also lower. Okay, it will be reduced. So now high frequency we have to draw. When the amplitude increase, frequency also increase. तो कहाँ तक एम्पलीट्यूड इंक्रीज हो रहा है? यहाँ तक इंक्रीज हो रहा है, फिर वहाँ पे so we have to draw the waveform like this. Frequency is getting increased over here. Okay, and from here itself the waveform is getting decreased. So here see, and from here it is already in the negative side, the amplitude is going on minus, so the amplitude will be like this. Okay, so this is how the frequency, that is the FM wave. When the amplitude getting increased, frequency will also gets increasing. Okay, so here frequency is increased. Here you can see if there is 2 volt, here also the amplitude of the waveform is 2 volt. But see, only the frequency of the waveforms is getting increased and decreased. So from this, you can write the definition. Frequency of the carrier is changing in accordance with the amplitude. How it is changing accordance with the amplitude? When amplitude increases, frequency is also getting increases. When amplitude decreases, my frequency is also getting decreases. Okay, so this is how you need to draw the diagram of FM wave. So from this, so here we can say the changing of frequency from higher to lower and lower to higher according to the amplitude, we are giving a name called instantaneous frequency. Okay, instantaneous frequency. Fi, instantaneous frequency. So instantaneous frequency is nothing but the FM frequency. The FM wave, the FM wave frequency, we are naming it as instantaneous frequency. Why? Because the frequencies are getting varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. Okay. So here we are going to see the mathematical expression. Mathematical expression. So the input in our input, I am having message signal m of t. I'm taking it as m of t. Okay, my message signal em em is the amplitude. Normally we will represent the sinusoidal or cosine signal as a cos omega t or anything, or a cos 2 pi f into t. Okay, so here I am using em and cosine wave. I'm taking the amplitude of the signal as em. Okay, I'm taking the amplitude of the signal as em. This is amplitude em. Em cos omega mt, omega mt. Instead of taking 2 pi f, here I used omega. Why? Because here in amplitude it was very simple. We are just checking the upper sideband frequency and lower sideband frequency. But in frequency modulation, see, the frequencies are continuously changing at this point, at this point, at this point. So it is continuously changing, so that for that I am using angular velocity. I'm using angular velocity here. I'm going to check the phase and I'm going to check the waveform of that signal. Okay, so that I'm taking em cos omega mt, em cos omega mt. Now my carrier signal. So C of t is equal to EC cos omega ct. Here you can take either cos or you can take sine. Anything you can take. If you want to deal with sinusoidal signal, then you can use sine omega mt. Not an issue. Any signal is possible. Okay, but here I have chosen cos theta, cosine waves. Okay. Now, as we studied here in frequency modulation, amplitude is what? Amplitude is constant throughout the waveform. If it is 2 volt, 2 volt ही रहेगा. So amplitude is constant and the frequency is variable. and frequency is variable. Okay, frequency is variable. So we are going to deal with the angular velocity. Okay, angular velocity is the function. We are calculate going to calculate angular velocity. So we are going to deal with angular velocity. So this angular velocity, how we are going to find out? It is the function of it is angular velocity is the function of हमारे पास कितना angular velocity है? दो है. We are having two angular velocity which is omega m and omega c. Carrier's angular velocity and message signals angular velocity. So here I am taking function of omega c comma omega m. Okay. So here I am taking function of angular velocity omega c comma omega m. Omega c comma omega m. Okay. So now who is changing? Carrier's frequency is changing, right? Carrier's frequency is changing. Carrier frequency is changing accordance with the message signal. So I'm taking my FM signal as I'm taking. So listen carefully, otherwise you can't understand this question because it was little bit difficult for you to understand. Okay. यहाँ तक समझ में आया सबको? Students, if you understood, did you understood up to here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So listen carefully, otherwise you can't understand. Okay. So here the EFM, here now we are going to derive the actual FM signal. Okay, actual FM signal. For that, I am going to take a sine wave. Okay, I am going to take carrier frequency as sine wave. Okay, changing. Here I am using sine wave because I'll get positive cos when I am taking integral. For that, I am taking a sine wave as my sine wave. So carrier is changing. For that, I am taking EC sine function of instead of omega. See, carrier's frequency is changing. So to identify the frequency, because frequency is continuously varying in my FM modulation signal. So for that, how the frequency is changing in accordance with the message signal. So I'm taking the omega. Normally, how will I represent the sinusoidal signal EC sine omega CT? Okay, but now carrier is changing according to the message signal. So I can write instead of omega c, I am using function of omega c comma omega m. Omega c comma omega m into t into t. Okay. So now I'm taking this function of omega c and omega m as theta. Now I'm taking EC sine theta of t. Okay. I'm taking this function of omega c, omega m as theta of t. Now I'm going to draw the phasor diagram for this FM modulation as my theta is like this. Theta is here. Theta of t is varying with the angular velocity omega at time t is equal to t. Here when t equal to 0, it is 0. And here the amplitude is here. So this is the phasor diagram of the frequency modulation. From this, this angular velocity here, which is rotating vector. This angular velocity here, which is a rotating vector. Okay. If this angular velocity, okay, so we can write here omega is a rotating vector. Why I am saying it is a rotating vector? Because the frequency is omega is nothing but the, here I have taken angular velocity, but if you simplify it is 2 pi fm or 2 pi fc. Here it is 2 pi f, that means frequency. So frequency is continuously changing. That's why it is mentioned as omega is a rotating vector. Okay, don't confuse how it is rotating and all. Rotating is nothing but continuously changing vector. Okay, omega is, we can write continuously changing vector. Okay, better, it will be better for you. Omega is a continuously changing vector. Continuously changing vector. If, so consider there is a case, if this rotating or this changing vector is constantly changing, that means if omega is changing constantly, changing if omega is changing constantly, so I'll take theta of t will be omega into t. Okay, because if I am omega into t, because it is not changing. If my angular velocity, if my angular velocity is throughout the circuit, if I am getting 2, so always it will be 2. So I'm taking here theta of t is equal to omega t. But what happen if it is changing? If it is not constant, that is our FM wave, because omega is not constant. Angular velocity is continuously changing here. So in FM, the angular velocity is, I'll write here angular velocity. Angular velocity in FM, the omega angular velocity is not constant. It is not constant and it is changing continuously. Changing continuously. Continuously. So for that we are having the omega, which is represented with the carrier frequency omega c plus, okay, plus the amplitude, sorry, the who is changing, carrier frequency is changing accordance with the message signal. So em cos omega mt, okay, em cos mt, okay, frequency is changing with the message signal. So I am taking directly the message signal, and here I have to take the carrier frequency is changing so that you see. So here there is one constant kf into em. So how this kf into em came, that I let you know. So here omega, so remember carrier frequency is changing. That's why I'm adding the carrier frequency with the message signal. With the message. This either you understand and study, or you mug up. Okay. Why? Because this is very, very important equation. Omega is equal to omega c plus kf em into cos omega mt. Here this kf em is nothing but it is called deviation ratio. Okay, deviation. deviation. So what is deviation? So the maximum the maximum departure the maximum departure from the maximum departure from the instantaneous frequency. Instantaneous frequency was mentioned as delta is equal to kf into em. Okay. The maximum departure from the instantaneous frequency. That means if frequency is like this, if frequency is like, there is a signal from, this is one signal. Okay. Again the next, so the delta. Okay. Again there is, again so there is one departure. There is a departure, then third departure, fourth departure. For that, it was named as deviation. Okay, the maximum departure instantaneous frequency. If how many departures are there? One, two, three, 4, and 5. Here there is 5 number of departures. So that is called deviation. That is called deviation. Okay. So here omega 6 into em cos omega mt. So here this kf into em is called deviation delta. Okay. Now we need to find out we need to find out theta of t. Theta of t. Why we need to find theta of t? Because our EFM, this is the main equation. Okay, EFM of t. Okay, so here EFM, this is our main equation. EC sin theta of t. So for that, I need to find theta of t. So here, theta of t is equal to integral of omega into dt. Okay, omega. We already find out what is omega. Integral, what is omega here? Omega c plus kf em into cos omega mt. Omega c plus kf em into cos omega mt into dt. Okay, into dt. Omega. So here plus kf em by omega c into em cos omega mt into dt. So if I am taking integration for this, what will I get? If I take integration of this, I will get omega c. For this 1 into dt, if I integrate it, I will get t. Then kf em omega c are constant. So kf em by omega c are constant. Then if I take integral for cos omega m, it will give me sin omega m t divided by omega m. Omega m. Now, if I multiply this, if I take this omega ct inside, Okay, if I take this omega c inside, so it will give me omega ct plus omega c get cancelled with each other, and I can change this kf em into delta divided by omega m into sine omega mt. Okay, into sine omega mt. So this is the value of theta of t. This is the value of first equation. Take this equation as okay. And you substitute equation 2 in 1. So what is the equation 1? E fm of t E fm of t is equal to EC sine theta of t, right? So theta of t is what? Omega ct plus del divided by omega m into sine omega mt into sine omega mt. So here we are taking this del divided by omega m, which is in angular velocity, or when it is represented in frequency domain, it will be mentioned like this: del divided by fm is equal to, we are naming it as modulation index of frequency modulation index of fm, that is mf or m, we can say. Okay, del divided by omega m or del divided by fm if I am representing in 2 pi fm in frequency domain. So the equation will become del by 2 pi fm, del by fm. So I will get, I'm naming it as mf. Mf is nothing but modulation index of, mf is what? Modulation index of the fm wave. Modulation index of fm. So here, if I represent it in modulation index, if I represented it in modulation index, I will get E fm of t is equal to EC sine omega ct plus mf into sine omega mt. Okay, so from this equation, what I am getting, the amplitude of carrier. EC is what is EC? Amplitude of the carrier, amplitude of the carrier signal, amplitude of carrier signal. What is omega c? Omega c is nothing but fm wave with the modulation index. So here, what this mf is representing? Frequency varies according to the modulation signal. Frequencies varies according to the message signal. Okay, so now we need to find out deviation ratio. Deviation ratio. So we know that there are small topics which is used in the problem. Okay, which is used in the problem, which is deviation equation, that is del by fm. Sorry, KF into EM. Then now we studied modulation index del by FM or del by omega m. Then deviation ratio. Deviation ratio is nothing but these are the small formulas you have to study. Okay, deviation ratio is equal to maximum deviation upon maximum modulating frequency. Maximum modulating frequency. The deviation is nothing but maximum number of deviation divided by maximum modulating frequency. Then we need to find out bandwidth. What is the bandwidth of frequency modulated signal? So for frequency modulated signal, again, we are having, there are higher frequencies and lower frequencies depends upon the message signal. Okay. When we studied AM modulation, there is only one frequency. The amplitude is changing. But considering the FM wave, there is only one frequency, and we studied upper sideband and lower sideband, which gives me FC plus FM, and FC minus FM, right? There is only one frequency. That's why we studied LSB and USB, and there is FC plus FM and FC minus FM, which represents USB and LSB. But see here, there is only one frequency, but here you can see multi frequencies are there. There can be lower frequency when the amplitude is decreasing. There can be a higher frequency when the amplitude is increasing. So there are number of sidebands that can exceed, that can exist in FM. If this is FC, so here there can be sideband, like this number of sidebands depend upon our modulation signal. Okay, FC plus FM, FC plus 2FM, FC plus 3FM, like that it goes on. We can't able to predict that there is only limited number of frequencies are available. Okay, so that we can represent, practically we can't able to identify practically it is impossible to identify the bandwidth, because a frequency modulated wave which has number of frequencies available there. Okay, so here practically where they are saying bandwidth is infinity. As we can't predict the sidebands of frequency modulation wave, we are saying bandwidth is infinity. Okay, and some other question they find out, like it can be, the bandwidth can be 2FM into 2FM for one sideband. मिनिमम एक रहेगा, उसके बाद it depends upon the number of frequency band. So for maximum one, they have taken 2FM. Then what they did, they are multiplying with number of sidebands. So this also they are using. This is also one formula. Bandwidth for FM wave, they are using 2FM. 2FM we studied in amplitude modulation. When the signal has upper sideband and lower sideband, we have differentiated from F2 minus F1, we get 2FM. We know when there is one LSB and one USB, we'll get 2FM. But here we can't predict. So what they did, they analyzed and they thought that in frequency modulation at least minimum 8 frequency रहेगा. So they have given the equation as 2FM into, then they multiplied with number of sidebands. If there is 4 sidebands, again more exist, then it will be multiplied with the bandwidth, 2FM into number of sidebands. Again one author called Carson. Okay, there is a Carson rule to find out the bandwidth. There is one more formula. Bandwidth is equal to 2 into deviation plus maximum of modulating frequency, maximum of modulating frequency. This is a very, very important formula you will be asked for your exam. Okay, for problems. Bandwidth is equal to, normally if they ask you to find out bandwidth, you have to use this formula. Bandwidth is equal to 2 into deviation plus FM maximum. Maximum FM. If they given a range 20 to 20 kilohertz, you have to take the maximum frequency 20 kilohertz and you have to solve the problem. Okay. So next one, you need to find out the power. 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 So for power, you are having PT is equal to again VRMS. Okay, so here EC, it fully purely depends upon the carrier. So EC divided by root 2, the whole square divided by R. Okay, so you will get EC square divided by 2R. When R is equal to 1, so I will get EC square divided by 2. Pt is equal to EC square divided by, this is my power of the signal, FM signal. Okay. So understood students this question, frequency modulation signal? Students, did you understood this question? Okay. So you copy this question in your note. It was little bit difficult to study. It was not easy than AM. Okay. So I would say if you studied AM for DSB FC, it is easy for you to study DSB SC and all. But here you need, the concept is important. If you know the concept, then only you can derive. So you concentrate and study. Okay, while studying this question. Okay. So you copy this in your note. Then we'll study the second question. So here instantaneous frequency is nothing but varying frequency. Here you assume carrier is sine wave. Otherwise, we will be getting confused. Okay. So here you put if omega is true, if omega is changing constantly, versus frequency spectrum. Students completed. Students completed. Okay. So give me 2 minutes so that I can take the attendance. Okay, let's start the second question. Pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. first of all, we need to know what is pre-emphasis and why we need pre-emphasis. So pre-emphasis is nothing but just we are boosting our signal, boosting the signal's amplitude. That is the work of pre-emphasis. So here in de-emphasis, we are so in pre-emphasis what we are doing, we are boosting up the signal, and at the de-emphasis side we are just the signals we are lowering the signals amplitude. That is the concept. But why we are doing that, that we will be studying here. Normally consider consider there is a noise. Consider there is a noise in the circuit. Called white noise. Okay, so we are having white noise in the sense it will be existing throughout any of the electronic component. Okay, so here this white noise, if we draw the power spectral density, consider if there is a signal, if there is a signal, and consider there is a noise is here. Okay, we want to reduce this noise and we need to transmit the signal properly. That is the concept of pre-emphasis, de-emphasis. And we need to note that pre-emphasis, okay, we'll study this. First of all, we'll study the basic concept, then we'll go to that. Okay, so consider there is a noise in the circuit called white noise. Okay, so here if I draw the power spectral density of the white noise, it will be n0, n0, n0 divided by 2. Okay, the power spectral density of white noise is now n0 divided by 2. Okay, it is a deeper concept, so I don't
Ma'am,
want to.
what is N0?
Okay, so n0 is nothing but the noise amplitude. Noise amplitude. Okay, noise amplitude. So here, so power spectral density, we are having a formula, integration of we have studied in the where we have studied in the Fourier transform. Then there is one concept called power spectral density and all. So for power spectral density, we are integrating the Fourier transform value and we will be squaring that. Okay. So there is a broad concept behind this white noise. Okay. I don't want to get deeper into that because we are not going to consider anymore. If you want me to take the deeper concept, you just ask me. I will take the lecture of n0 divided by 2. Okay. For now, you study the power spectral density of white noise is n0 divided by 2. Okay. Power spectral density of power spectral density of noise. White noise is n0 divided by 2. Okay. So now if I'm transferring a voice signal, okay, if I'm transferring a voice signal I will get my signal like this. I will get my signal like this. Consider this is a voice signal. Now, if I combine these two, when I combine these two, I will get the waveform like this. This is a noise and this is my voice signal. Okay. So if you see here, if you see here, if you see here, so take this point as F1. Okay, consider this point. Okay, consider this point. This is our signal and this is noise. Okay, at this point, who is at this point who is increasing? Who is higher? Signal is higher than noise. Signal is higher than noise. From 0 to consider 0 to F1. Okay, consider 0 to F1. Who is higher than signal is higher than noise. But if you consider after F1, who is higher? Who is higher? Noise is higher because here the signal is getting lower and the noise is constant. So here noise is greater than signal. Noise is greater than signal. Noise greater than signal. So if I want to transmit the whole signal, see, if I want to transmit this whole signal, okay, see, the amplitude of the signal is increased only between this point to this point. What about this? What about these two? Okay, how my signal will still receive properly? It will not at all receive properly. Why because in some part of the waveform signal is higher and in some part of the waveform noise is higher than the signal. So we studied formula signal to noise ratio. Signal to noise ratio, it should be always greater than 1. We have studied this. When signal is greater than noise, so we know that SNR ratio is greater than 1. But when noise is greater than signal, SNR is less than 1. That means here none of the signal will pass. Fully it will be noise converted signal. Fully noise. Then how my whole signal will pass? So here the thing I need to do is, after this F1 I need to increase the amplitude. Yes or no? I need to increase this amplitude. If I increase the amplitude, then my whole signal can pass properly. So how can I increase this amplitude? For that I am using pre-emphasis circuit. For this I am using pre-emphasis circuit. Okay, to transmit the signal properly without any loss. And here this pre-emphasis, you can ask me why we are not using this in AM, why you did teach me in AM. So I can say in only pre-emphasis circuit will deal with only the frequency modulation signal, not any other modulation, not AM, not PM, okay, not any other modulation. Pre-emphasis circuit deals with frequency modulation circuit. So we'll study frequency emphasis circuit now. Okay, so pre-emphasis circuit, we can say pre-emphasis circuit is nothing but it is a high pass filter. It is a high pass filter. So how the high pass filter look like? Capacitor is connected with the resistance in series. So this is the circuit, input voltage, and here it is output voltage. So when I take Laplace transform of the capacitor, I will get 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. Okay. So if I want to, so how I am telling this is a high pass filter? Why? Because when I pass low frequency, what this capacitance will do? Okay, it will block. Okay, here it will not pass a signal to the circuit. So what happened? None of the current will flow. Okay, no voltage, so value will be 0. But when you pass high frequency, this it will act as a short circuit. It will act as a short circuit, and the current flows. So here the high pass signal passes through the filter, high pass filter. Okay. So that we are telling this circuit is a high pass filter. Now if you calculate output voltage upon input voltage, that is input voltage multiplied by, so we need to find out V0. The branch resistance is what we need to find out for this. So here Vi into R divided by, it is a voltage divider rule. Vi into R divided by total resistance to R plus the capacitance 1 by Cs. R plus 1 by Cs. So here now you find out V0 divided by Vi. So what will be the value? R. So if you take the Cs common, RCS, and here you will multiply by RCS plus 1. RCS divided by RC plus CS plus 1. So if I am drawing a graph, for this value, so in electronics there is a plot called Bode plot. Okay. Again, that is also deeper topic. Okay, I don't want to complicate you. Okay, we are having a graph like this, and we are having a graph like this. We are having, okay, in the okay, is there any zero crossing here? Zero crossing? No. So see the equation V0 divided by Vi. We are having RCS divided by RCS plus 1. Okay. So here the value of RCS exists. Okay. RCS exists after some point. Okay. So we are telling that from origin to, okay, origin to some point we are having constant value. To some point we are having a constant value. We are having a constant value. Then at this point, so what is happening? We are passing only the high frequency signal and we are rejecting the low frequency signal. So my graph will be like this. Okay. So here this point I'm taking it as F1. Okay. I am combining this graph with the graph which I drawn earlier. See this graph. This one, F1. Okay. So at this point, F1, what I am doing, I am passing only the high frequency signal. So for that, what happens? My signal. If this is my signal, this is my pre-emphasis circuit. So consider this is my pre-emphasis circuit, and I am having the waveform like this. This is what I studied, noise and signal mixed up, and at this point F1. So here noise is greater. Okay. So when I pass this signal to pre-emphasis circuit, it will allows only the high frequency signal, and at the end the signal will be like this. It will be like this. All the amplitude, okay, which is boosted up, and it passes the higher frequency where this noise will be the stable. So this is what we are doing in pre-emphasis circuit. Okay, and we are using this pre-emphasis in transmitter side. Pre-emphasis in transmitter side. Okay, so now the next topic is de-emphasis. So de-emphasis is what? Ulta of that. Okay, reciprocal. Okay, so here de-emphasis circuit is there. Pre-emphasis act as a high pass filter. Here it is a low pass filter. Low pass filter. So how the low pass filter look like? Resistance is connected with capacitors in series. This is input voltage and this is my output voltage. C and R. So for C, I am calculating Laplace transform. So this will become 1 by Cs. Okay. So for this diagram, if I calculate voltage upon VA, okay, voltage using voltage divider rule, VI into 1 by Cs divided by R plus 1 by Cs. R by 1 by Cs. Then what will be my value? VI, I'll take VO upon VI. V output upon VI. So my equation will become 1 by Cs and Cs will get cancelled with each other. And I will get 1 by RCS. 1 by RCS. Okay, 1 by RCS. 1 by RCS plus if I multiply the CS, so RCS plus 1, I will get the equation like this. Again, see, if I plot the graph here, it will be looking like this. At particular point, it will be constant. Then what happened? Then the amplitude will become decreased. At the point of F1, it will be decreasing. Okay, so here if I draw the pre-emphasis and de-emphasis graph, pre-emphasis and de-emphasis graph according to our equation, see here, for pre-emphasis circuit, what we are doing is we are going constantly, and at the point of frequency we are increasing the amplitude or increasing the signal's amplitude in pre-emphasis. But see, at the de-emphasis circuit, at the point of F1, it will be constant. What happens? It is decreasing lowering the signal's amplitude. It is in de-emphasis. So what happens? So what happens? So here we are using it in transmitter side and here we are using it in receiver side. So what we are doing, to remove the noise, I am boosting the signal in transmitter, and again to get my original signal, again I am lowering the amplitude. So what will happen? These two gets cancelled with each other and I will pass the original signal at the end. Okay, so this is what we are doing in pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. Okay, so pre-emphasis is nothing but it's boosting the signal. Okay, but de-emphasis, what it is doing, it lowers the power of the signal. Okay, that is the main concept. Understood this question, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you copy this. Okay, you copy this. This is a 5-mark question. Pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. Okay, I will. If I complete by next week, okay, I will be taking this power spectral density y n0 divided by 2. Okay, you remember this white noise, power spectral density of white noise. If I completed my class, my chapters, all again, I'm having 4 questions. If I completed that, I will be taking this white noise power spectral density. So that you also get to know. Okay. But it was to gain some knowledge, not for your exam point of view or not from your syllabus. Here you write amplitude signal increases, and at the second waveform you write amplitude signals are decreases. Higher frequency signals are boosted up in free emphasis. Completed, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.